You can see Megan Hargan crying several times in the courtroom, especially when the prosecution detailed how her mother and sister died. Despite being charged with first-degree murder, her defense is trying to argue that it wasn't her but her sister who killed their mother and then herself. The prosecution described Megan Hargan as an entitled woman who was jealous her mother was going to buy her sister a new home. Police found Pamela and Helen shot in the head inside a McLean home in July 2017. Prosecutor Kelsey Gill argues she killed her mother in an attempt to fraud hundreds of thousands of dollars to close on a new home in West Virginia, and tried to paint a picture that she then killed her sister, who was begging for her life in the bathroom. Gill says leaving Helen alive would be too big of a risk. Everything would be for nothing if Helen didn't keep her mouth shut. The Commonwealth painstakingly detailed a timeline of events and says there was gun residue on Megan's hands. They say the rifle belonged to Megan's partner and staged the gun between her sister's legs to make it appear it was Helen who killed her mother and then herself. Gill asks, how could Helen even pull that off? But defense attorney Brian Kennedy says the Commonwealth failed to exclude the possibility that Helen could kill herself by pointing the rifle towards the top of her hairline and pulling the trigger using her toe. It's that bizarre accusation that a juror in the first trial attempted in their own home, considered a misconduct, and leading to the conviction being overturned. The defense also argues the residue on her hands could come from a different gun and says there is no DNA evidence belonging to Megan on that gun, nor had any of her mother's blood on her clothes. Rather, it was Helen who not only had her DNA on the end of the rifle, but on the gun case found in her car, which Kennedy blasts the Commonwealth for failing to explain to the jury, calling it a reasonable doubt. Kennedy says this is a circumstantial case. They're trying to stretch evidence far past the limitations. The defense says as far as the motive on why Helen would kill her mother is that there was some sort of dispute about Helen's boyfriend moving in. The jury will start deliberating tomorrow at 10 a.m. The judge was explicitly clear not to conduct their own independent investigation or experiment. In Fairfax tonight, I'm Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.